Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's see, I think I see a quorum. 5, right, we only need. So, and we don't have any meeting minutes for last time, you know why?
You've left them at home?
We didn't have a quorum,
Oh, okay.
so for the lack of a quo, we didn't have any meeting minutes, but we're really just talking
So
about,
anything we talked about doesn't count?
just talking about the expo.
Right.
And I think you're the only citizen.
Lucky me.
Do you have any comments?
I'm here to learn and find out what's all happening here. I have worked in elder care for over 20 years with, primarily with dementia care and families with dementia care. I'm now a real estate agent, and I have a special designation to work with families and people with dementia. And I am really passionate about the elderly, especially because I am one.
Don't even say that.
I think you're still younger than me, so I don't know.
So that's why I'm here. I want to learn more and see where that goes.
Welcome. That's
Great to have you.
wonderful.
She's also asked a lot of questions about how different departments, fire department, police, interact to help serve the seniors and kind of fitting those puzzle pieces together.
Nice.
Okay,
What's your name?
Sandy.
See, I know I see all, but it's Sherry's.
Thank you,
I-
Sherry.
I know Phil's not gonna make it tonight, and I think there's one of the library meetings tonight, I'm not sure, but, so, you're stuck as the town
I'm it.
representative, right?
Yeah, I guess we'll show you now. For the
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's true.
So I guess for department news, we're prepping for our budget season that starts obviously at the end of the month here, and we'll get going there. We have a new officer who just started FTO, Officer Eric Burke. He's a certified guy we got from Durham, so we're excited to have him. We have one in the background, so that puts us at 63 of our 68 slots. I think as I mentioned before in the meeting, we wouldn't fill the 68. We're not budgeted appropriately just yet. So this year we're going to attack I think 2 or 3 different lines to right size those lines,
Yep.
so we can keep bringing people on. So we're getting there. So I think it's been about a 3-year process for us to right size those lines.
I think I saw 2 people graduated from the academy.
Not from us. Yeah, like we've gone on a run for certified officers. So we had 2 certified officers just exit off their FTO programs about 2 weeks ago, and now we've
Okay.
another certified officer on FTO, and then I have a certified officer on a background investigation. So,
Oh.
so we're doing all right. We do very well with hiring certified officers from elsewhere. So, I think if you guys were paying attention to the news, I think MUR ran a story. I think Nashua and Manchester, those organizations were kind of lamenting, like, hey, we can't get new candidates. Well, we can't get new candidates either. So the new candidate pool is very, very dry. But at the same time, we do very well organizationally by grabbing certified guys.
Is that because they go
So-
elsewhere or because they're just not applying?
They're not applying, so I think just generally speaking, those younger folks, people aren't entering the police workforce. They don't want to do it. So I think it's a recipe of news media,
Sure.
just the type of work it is, and it's tough. So
Danger.
again, fortunately, we luck out because I'm grabbing certified guys from other departments. So
Lack of support for
Yeah.
the police.
Does the airport division help you or hinder you in recruiting?
I don't think it doesn't really. I wouldn't say hinder us. In terms of recruiting, it does have a different component to it, so people are interested in it and they find out about it. But I think sometimes for younger officers, it's a tough pill to swallow. So, you'll go from working, we rotate quarterly where our guys are. So you'll go from working in town, like getting after being a police officer as a young officer, you're out there making mistakes and learning and going to court and stuff. And then you'll go spend 12 weeks at the airport where it's much slower. So
I
that
didn't know
shift.
you did that, so there is a
Yeah.
process of
Yeah, so
rotating.
years ago, we had a couple senior folks that would just lock down those airport spots, because it's always 70 and sunny at the airport. So we'd have a lot of senior guys that just, they're ending their careers, and if anything, they extend their careers 2 to 3 years because they're not shagging accidents, they're not out there in the rain. So it's like, So, you know, it's good and bad. So some of these younger folks, you know, we send them up to the airport for a little bit, and then we bring them back, and we gotta get them going again, get them motivated again. So, it is tough. So, for the most part, though, look, the way I say it to people is that airport's in Londonderry. We'd be sending guys anyway.
Yeah.
So the relationship we have now with them and the relationship the town has with the airport authority, it works out well. It's beneficial because, you know, all our police services up there are contracted. So, you know, they're covering the 9 officers that are up there. They're covering the 4.5 sergeants. They're covering all the pay and the benefits there.
Yeah.
They pay a modest admin fee for hours worked up there. So it really is a benefit to the town. Because again, we'd have to go anyway if there was
Right,
a call for service. So.
And you had a coffee recently too.
So we did the
Oh, yeah.
nationwide coffee with a cop event. We did
Yep.
that down at O'Shea's.
Yep,
But that's one that's broadcast. That's a national program. And then this month, the 20th
Tuesday.
So next Tuesday,
oh,
we'll be up at the senior center for coffee. So
That's
Good.
nice.
yeah.
so come on
So
down.
bringing the coffee.
Alona's buying coffee. I'll bring it. Okay.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Real set.
So,
Alona,
Me? Okay, let's see. I'm really not prepared today, but things that are happening are, the basic things that are happening are Halloween parties on Thursday. We have a jam session on Sunday, in conjunction with the Arts Council, and it's gonna be Halloween theme, and I've invited, not only over 55 residents and members, but their families if they wanted to bring any little ones or their
Nice.
older kids or younger kids or grandkids.
oh,
So we'll see how that turns out.
I saw the grandkids were invited. I wasn't sure about their parents.
Well, it I'll decide at the door. But, I mean, we've had as little as 20 people to these jam sessions,
Yeah.
and we've had as many as 70.
Wow.
So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a response online or anything?
You don't have to sign up for it, so
Oh,
people just
okay.
show up.
Yeah.
So no. The other thing is Tuesday we have coffee with a cop, and on the 9th, well, first of all, the 2nd of November, we have the LSCI craft fair, which will probably be our last craft fair, because LSCI is disbanding. I don't know how many of you know about that already, but LSCI is, I don't know the proper word, just
Disbanding.
they're breaking up. Bonnie has stepped down as president, and no one at this point, because of different situations in their lives, wants to continue moving forward. So the board has elected to dissolve LSCI. So as a result, my leadership will be taking over certain functions that they have. And I'm working very closely with Mike Malaguti and Justin Campo to see how we can do all of this properly. One of the biggest things is bingo, because we do bingo twice a week. And I've been reading all the literature on working with the Gaming Commission and making sure that we can legally run bingo. And it seems like the last piece of information I have is that you have to be over 55 to play, to not have like this major licensing thing going on. If you're over 55, you can't charge more than 75 cents for a card. We charge 50 cents, and the prizes can't be more than $500 a game. Our games are probably, we turn the money, I think somebody won $40 last week on the coveralls, which was a big prize, but usually it's like $8, $10, $12 a game.
Yeah.
So it's more of a social event.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to continue that, it's very popular, but I wanna do it legally. The craft fair, I don't know that we'll continue doing it because it's a fundraising activity and I don't do fundraising, it's not part of, I'm not a nonprofit. So what we might be able to do is I'm thinking that if the craft fair has been very popular, maybe we can, Bonnie does collect a rental fee from the crafters to have a table.
Yep.
So that could be a rental income for us, which we have now anyway. So we're trying to just take the stuff that she does and either do it differently or, make sure that we do it properly. I will also be taking over membership. All the membership, $10 a year, went to LSCI. So in November, I'll be sending out 600 letters to people. As of January 1 is a new membership year, and we have to bring those fees back into the town now. So Justin's helping me figure out how we're going to process that money too. So it's a little different, it's sad. A lot of the people, who are part of the LSCI are very active members anyway, so I don't see them going away completely. Bonnie's not going away completely, it's just that running all the things that they do has become very difficult for them. They do have some funds left in their coffers, and some of that, they're gonna be buying things for the senior center, which is what they've done all along. And it's my understanding, but I don't wanna speak out of turn, that as a nonprofit, any funds you have left over go to another nonprofit. So they're gonna elect what nonprofit to move that money to. So it's a little change, it's a little sad, but it's a little, yeah, it's bittersweet. Bonnie's taught me so much, and that group that works together is very tight and does things very, very well, so.
Efficiently,
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to, figure out how I'm gonna do it, so. But we're still scheduling, we're still doing our newsletter and announcing everything properly, and, hopefully, I think it takes 6 months to disband a nonprofit, so it's not happening overnight, it's not happening like that, it's gonna be a slow process. That's all I got
Thank
right
you,
now.
Ellen, that's interesting.
And she will help me, she just said, I have a quote here.
Nice.
Okay, I'm sorry, because you got so much more on your plate. I had an idea I wanted to float by you. I was thinking about maybe doing something in the spring. Call it a service provider roundtable at the senior center. Is that something you'd be?
I think we might want to, pick a type of service, is my thought. Right now, I'm dealing a lot with housing. I have some people who are losing their housing
Yep.
for different reasons that I'm not gonna go into. And I feel that that's an area, I mean, housing, we know housing is tough for seniors, period.
Yep.
But there are different organizations that can help seniors with certain income levels to obtain housing. So if we just focus on housing, or if we just focused on healthcare, if we focused on one item, that might be a
Yeah.
good idea. But if we just mix it together like the expo, it's gonna be too confusing.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation, just
Uh,
But maybe a monthly thing,
every other month. The expo's a lot to put together to get in
Yeah,
touch with all
yeah.
those people,
Yeah.
so, but I like the idea, because it'll just give us a more robust, portfolio to present to seniors in town to make sure they can move forward in whatever realm that is.
Yeah,
So, yes.
I was thinking of inviting the town manager to, it's, what can we do better? How can you work better together, but how can you, what support can we provide as a town and the rest of that to coordinate this and,
I think the two things, and John's helping attack that one, is the transportation and the housing. Those
Yep.
are our big shortfalls.
yeah,
I don't know if you all agree, but that's what I'm seeing.
okay. Vertical head motion? Alrighty, I wanna spend most of our time today, I gotta do one thing. Two things. I handed out the flyer for tomorrow, the coffee hour at the YMCA, for your information. I'm thinking of going to that and seeing what happens. The second thing is, so I can live at home. I looked at the various other Tuesdays besides the third Tuesday, and the best alternative is the first Tuesday of the month, if we're gonna switch the meeting time so people can do.
We have some conflict with other organizations that are meeting.
Yeah.
The third Tuesday, so.
Thank you.
Now, how does that sound to the group?
As long as it's not Tuesday morning, I have a aviation meeting.
All good.
Okay,
First Tuesday?
yeah.
Are we able to get this room, or have you checked with Kirsten?
I talked to Kirsten before, and she was good with whatever we could work out. I think, we'll start, let me say something like February, because I'm deathly afraid that the first Tuesday of the month will be the second. Or the first, I don't know. But, see how that goes.
So it wouldn't start till February. You wouldn't start till February.
I wouldn't start going to the first month.
Guess
until-
what? January first is on a Wednesday. So the first Tuesday
It's the
would
January
be
second.
January seventh.
We can start on January, or start
That's-
on
yeah, that
Queen's.
kinda
First
works.
Tuesday is February 4th, January 7th, yeah,
That's
that would be
February,
good.
but January seventh.
January seventh, that's, gives everyone
Okay.
a little bit of a breather after.
Alrighty, now what I'd like to spend most of the time on is, talking about what we've learned, what we can do better after the expo. And I spent at least 10 minutes thinking about
Seven.
So, here's some,
I hope you have all my stuff.
How was the turnout in comparison to last year?
I'm sorry,
How was the
Very
turnout?
similar, wouldn't you
Sandy was
say?
a vendor too.
yes.
That's Sandy, why you look familiar on top of it, that's right, and you've been in town for a while.
Yeah.
Well, because I had read that
Oh, okay,
online, that
Do you
the,
need one? We can share this one,
yeah,
sure.
okay.
I had read online that the Baldwin canceled their bus for lack of interest.
Yeah.
They did not attend the expo.
Oh,
I
that's
read that online.
disappointing, my goodness.
So I wondered how the turnout was.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I'd say
thought,
about the same, wouldn't you?
I think about the same as
Yeah, very
last year.
comparable.
You know, we were competing with Dairy Fest,
That weekend?
that was the same weekend. So I think that, and it was rainy this year, but we had more vendors, and I think the space was better than before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I had criticism on that,
Oh.
about tripping on whatever you had on the floor.
Yep, it's on here.
They said it was gonna be thicker stuff, I don't know
Yeah.
what they could do.
They were afraid of tripping
Oh, boy.
because of what was on the floor.
Well, there were a lot of seams that were lifting because of the tape that they used, and people were tripping. I could see it clearly from my table.
Yeah,
And it was kind of hard for, especially with people with walkers and stuff. It was really a hazard.
okay, but
It's
so
not-
if
it's not
we
heated, did you say?
improved sealing it down, is
Or-
that enough, or is it a problem that we have to think, because I'm not sure we can use a gym,
I'm wondering if we should not be in a gym, so we don't have to do that.
yeah.
What about a cafeteria?
Oh, we,
It was too small.
we,
It was too
we
small.
swamped the cafeteria.
Last year we were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was tight, I mean, it looked
It was
so
tight, you think it was tight this
wonderful.
year?
Why
but
doesn't
it
somebody
was worse
talk to
than-
the janitorial staff, they're super helpful, and see,
Yeah.
mention
could
the
do
problem to
something
them and
else.
see if they can come up with a remedy.
So-
They guaranteed they would give us something stronger than
They
the
did.
high school
So-
did.
Based on feedback we got from 3 years ago, the high school gymnasium, obviously larger, you can fit more vendors, more folks,
Yep.
more accessible parking. We were told that the mat that they have there, that people weren't happy with, cause it's a thinner matting material, so it does move. This, keep in mind, this is the same material we use on election day.
Yep.
It's the same material we use for any meeting in there. So we're told that they didn't like that, so we pivoted and we went to the cafeteria at the middle school.
Yep.
It was too small. So we then go to the gym at the middle school.
Yep.
They have better floor matting. So the matting at the middle school gym's matting is actually of a higher quality, it's thicker, it's denser, it doesn't move as much.
But they didn't use it.
They did use it. That's what was on the ground.
That's
So
what that was, it was
that-
like, it
Yes,
was like,
so that matting is about as good as it gets in terms of matting that we're gonna have. Now, in terms of them taping the seams, they did tape it, they did come back out and tape it a few more times.
Mhm.
So, long story short, as long as we're gonna be holding these events in a gymnasium, there's going to be mat covering, and that's that's what it is, it's just the nature of the beast there.
Is,
Maybe we need to put up some signs warning people to
Yeah.
remember to note that, you know, the floor.
I wanna give a lot of credit to those custodial staff, they
amazing.
were
Oh, they were-
fantastic,
they were
yeah.
amazing.
I had to
Yeah.
move
Yeah.
tables too when I got there.
Yeah, they were
because
moving
were too
tables,
tight.
you
They
guys
had to
saw
move everything
the way it was
further
set up,
apart.
Yeah, it was
and they were
amazing.
taping it, and if I asked them to retape it, they stopped
Yeah.
what they were doing, they came in,
Wow.
they retaped it, so.
And they came and looked for me, is there
Yeah.
anything you need? And they gave me a radio too.
Yeah.
yeah,
When
They-
I got there,
Awesome.
all the tables were in place.
Yeah.
So did they start out with an empty space with the matting down and tape then?
Yes. So that process started Friday night.
Did they stretch it?
It's not, there's nothing to stretch, it's,
Yeah.
No, well, I mean.
it's like super
put-
thick
You
paper.
mean like-
keep it taut so you could find the area.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't,
Apart.
yeah, I wasn't there when they did it,
I wonder,
But
you
they're
know,
so used to
Yeah.
doing it.
yeah, I trust
Yeah.
they did the best practice when it came. No one wants to protect that floor more than those guys do, so,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, I'm thinking you might be getting the criticism at the expo, not at voting, because voting is all ages.
Yeah.
The expo is
Oh, sure.
just.
Yeah.
And you're moving in, you're not
Yeah.
really circular, it's more
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
I'm just not sure there's a better way to mat that floor.
Yeah.
And from what's over from these guys in the district, the floor matting at the middle school is better than the floor matting at the high school.
okay. Is the cafeteria at the high school larger than the
I was just trying to
cafeteria?
think of
Yes,
that.
so the cafeteria at the high school is larger than the caf at the middle school, but it's not as large as the gym.
Okay,
I did love it when we had it at the gym the first year, just people, there was a shorter distance for people to walk, the parking was accessible, but sporting events and all make it very difficult. But I could picture, like, at that point, we only used half the gym, but now we have so many vendors, I could just picture it being filled and easy access and but it's the flooring that's
They do the
still-
craft fair at the high school
And they do
cafeteria.
it down the hallways, it's
And they
cool.
do the lobby as well.
I like how they do that, I suggested that last year.
I think that would look nice too.
Down the hallway?
When you walk into the front door of the high school, there's all tables,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
but
they
I
you
think
close
that's
around
a great
space.
idea.
how far
It was
apart
so
are
easy to
seats?
They
navigate.
do right on the hallway, and then they
Is
go
there a
in
way
the
to
whole
lay the
cafeteria
tables
as
Yeah.
out so?
I think that's a
it-
great
it
idea.
covers most of the
I like
seams?
that.
or do
Yeah,
they
so
already
that
do
would-
Hi, Kirsten.
That would probably be my
Bye,
suggestion
honey.
next year, would be to run the table over the seam, so you're not walking on it, but I'd have to take a look at it.
Yeah, I can't
I didn't
remember,
think to take a picture of it.
I don't remember too many seams, but there were a lot of places where it was loose and you
Yeah.
could trip.
Yeah.
Was that more of a problem than the seams, I wonder, the fact that it was loose?
I can't really say because our table was right in front of a seam, so that's what I
Right.
saw.
Oh, you know, the only other thing I noticed, and I thought the space was phenomenal and our custodial staff amazing, but it seemed like a long way when the residents came in through the main door, they checked in with but then it's a long way
It's a bit
if
of a
you're
walk.
having, it's a bit of a walk, that's well put, cause you have to kinda go down and then you've gotta go down the hallway and then you've gotta make a right. It's a long way, like at the high school, you walked in, you
Yeah.
got your bag, welcome, and then there were vendors right there, but it was a bit of a walk, it was. But it looked beautiful
But at the-
inside.
But at the front, things moved more smoothly this
Yes.
year than they
Yeah.
did
Cause you
last
weren't,
year.
you weren't
Yeah.
bottlenecked.
Yeah, and we
Yes,
didn't have
exactly.
vendors in the
People
front.
just
Is it-
moved right
Yeah,
along, it was a
yeah.
flow.
It was, yeah,
That back
'cause
door's not wheelchair accessible, is
a
it?
couple
It
of
is,
people
it
did
is,
come in
yeah.
that
Well,
way.
then we could
Couple people
direct
did,
people
yeah.
around, we could direct people to that
Yeah.
entry with
Yeah.
wheelchairs, and that would solve some
That
of
would,
that problem.
yeah, if we just had to kind of post that around and, yeah, it did look beautiful in there, it really did, but that was the only little bit difficult getting down there,
But you didn't need more space.
We did,
we were
oh,
close.
The
we needed
vendors, would
space.
you say?
We needed
We were-
space between, we definitely need more
Yeah.
space.
So is there some reason why we're not considering the high school cafe hallway?
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, I mean, we could try something different because cause that is an
No,
open
I-
space, you're right.
because that's what I thought we were discussing just now, the high school cafeteria.
With that open hallway
Yeah, now it's not as big as the gym.
and how is it getting into the calf though? It's not as,
I'm
well, it's
No,
not
just-
the
bad.
trouble
This
last
is
time, the
extra
trouble when we
people.
used
It
it was
is,
because there
yeah.
was a sporting event, so they were blocking the front parking spaces.
Yeah.
That was the problem, so we have to coordinate without sporting events.
And there's not many parking
No, there's
spots
not.
there, no, and
Is
if
there more
parking,
handicap parking spaces there?
No.
It's the whole,
It's
where,
a row,
high school,
you've
the
got
high
a
school,
row,
it's
but
the
it-
whole front row.
Not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot, no,
Yeah.
it's not, and then if you've got, most people would have to go to the large parking lot, we could always ask like people with golf carts, you know, some of the alert team and all them, I'm sure would help us
Right,
bring people
Well,
in,
doesn't
but-
Alert do more handicap for election day too?
Yeah,
They
they're
make that little
involved
2 rows,
everywhere,
right?
yeah, they're amazing.
Cause I couldn't go in there, I was like,
Yeah, but I'm sure like we could rally that, but that's the only thing with the CAF, like the gym is so accessible and people love that.
Yeah,
Cafeteria, I can picture it, it would be beautiful, but it's just getting into
The
it could be a little
access.
trickery, yeah.
You know, there must be a solution to this, the
Right.
tarp problem on the floors, because it's not just for us. I mean, you got people, you know, the voting, you're gonna have a lot of people in there voting, and, you know, there's old people, young people there, and there's, you know, and it's wide open then, so they're walking all over, so you potentially could have problems when they're voting, if somebody
but
falls
like
or something.
how many seniors don't vote ahead of time, too?
But anyway, I can't believe we can't solve that problem. I just,
Maybe if we talk to the custodial
Yeah.
staff,
different tape,
Joe, I
maybe
think
put
is
some
in charge
tension on
now.
on it.
We
I can talk to
all
them,
those
yeah.
things,
I
there
think
must be a
getting
way.
any other material is gonna cost.
but yeah, maybe it's just something where they'll go, oh, we can
I'm
do
in a
this,
meeting.
this, or this, yeah,
With me.
oh,
I
yeah,
thought
it's
we're
tough.
hopeful.
I'm sorry, I have lost the consensus.
Well,
Well, maybe the consensus is we have to take a look at our options. We can take a look at the high school. I'm thinking, it seems to me, I have a feeling that the corridors were wider in the high school than the middle school.
Some of them, yes.
Especially when you go in, when you're first entering,
yeah,
yeah.
pose.
So that we could use some of that space, you know, some vendor with their back to the one side of the wall and people walking by on the other.
The facility might be better, but it's getting there.
Well,
It is,
scheduling,
yeah.
scheduling would be a problem, and one of the benefits I thought this year for vendors was you could use that side door
To
coming
load.
in to offload
Mhm.
and get your stuff into the event. It was like a separate entrance for vendors than for the visitors. And I thought that was.
Could they leave their vehicle there, or do they have to move it?
We had a lane for loading and unloading, and then they could park in that lower lot there.
Because the same thing's true at the high school CAF.
Yeah.
There's that back part they could unload and bring in, but they couldn't park there afterwards.
Yeah, so they could park not in that lane, but in that lot.
Yeah.
So they weren't far.
That was, okay.
If we go over 70 vendors, I think we would have to consider moving it back, probably to the high school gym.
Oh, boy.
We
that
had
helps.
70,
We had 70 there.
and
with-
6 did not show up, and it
Yeah.
was still, and we pulled tables
Yeah.
when people didn't show up, after 30, like at whatever time it was. 10,
Yeah.
20,
Yep.
10:30,
If they
we
weren't there,
pulled
we-
tables,
Yeah.
and spread other tables apart, but it was still was tight.
It was
Yeah.
tight.
So I think the vendor count may force our hand.
And the
That's
whole, the
helpful.
walkways were good, those were
Yeah.
wide enough, it was the vendors side by side that
Right.
was too tight,
Yeah, they couldn't get in between,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Alrighty,
That might determine it right there.
let me go
Yeah.
down my list then. I want to start before the event.
Do we have a date for next year?
If,
I
you
don't
know,
think we do we?
Not if we
The
have
junior high
Uh,
would work if we used the gym and the cafeteria.
So I had booked both, just in case, yeah.
That would add,
I booked the library, the gym, and the CAF.
Yeah,
Well, that's where we
Let's
have
just
the
do it.
educational
That's why I
class
booked
set
it
up,
there.
yeah. And I wonder how many he did get. There was the educational, the man that was, I don't know if he was talking about, he was asking, really no one.
And he had trouble setting up the equipment, and then
Yeah.
nobody showed up.
Oh, cause I tried to
So-
help him initially just, and then I didn't know what
I
happened.
told him I'd give him a table inside if he
Yeah.
wanted to hang out there, or just take advantage of being there. So he did stay a little while, but he had 0
Oh,
people.
darn. Cause the years past, we did have
Yeah.
people.
And
that
we did
just-
advertise it on my
Yeah.
side and on their site too.
What was the topic?
The smart tech driving,
oh,
Oh, yeah, it was
on the
quite-
the
It
new
was a hit
computers.
before.
It was a hit before, and I don't know what happened this time. I did look it up on their site and I did not see it scheduled. Like 2 weeks before, I contacted him, Joe Myler, I think his name is, and I said, just checking to see how many you have,
Signed out.
signed up, and he said none, and I said, well, I've tried to sign up for it just
Right.
to test it, and I couldn't find it.
Oh dear,
This is
that could be the
AARP.
problem.
Yeah, they do it on their site, but I also advertised it personally, through the center.
Oh, I bet you that was the weak spot on it then.
But I didn't have anybody sign up, well, and
No.
if they went, with the advertisement, it told you to go to their site to register.
Yeah,
So if they did that instead of coming to me, they wouldn't have registered, they
Wow, I
would've
bet you
gotten
that was
stuck.
it, cause there were a lot of people in that room the last couple of.
There were, I think he had 10-ish, I
12,
think, and
yeah.
I think some
Yeah.
people walked in,
Yeah,
but yeah, he had a significant
enough
amount.
to make it worthwhile,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Huh.
I felt bad for him, cause he does it as a volunteer,
yeah,
so,
Ugh.
yeah.
okay. Okay, my first thing is checking for competing events, I guess that includes sports and
Yeah, so
Dairy Fest.
the reason I picked that weekend, I didn't wanna compete with the MacPlac weekend the following week. So, the MacPlac weekend,
Oh, London.
You could
Dairy
never
First
have done it with
secret
that.
right, so that's why you picked,
Yeah,
so I, in terms of sporting events, that's why I picked that weekend.
Yeah,
So I
okay,
knew I could get the gym, so,
all
and
right,
I would attempt to do the same thing next year.
right.
yeah, okay. This is, I said business cards for personal recruiting. And mainly that's because when I was sending out emails to people, it was coming from me at TOL boards, which doesn't sound very Londonderry-ish, unless you know the TOL is Town of Londonderry.
Yeah.
You know, and I also think,
But you can put that in your signature, whatever you want to. I changed, when I sent stuff out, I put your name and my name and I
Yep.
changed the signature. So they knew who we were from, where we were from,
okay,
so.
But you're coming from a NH.gov, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
but I
To Jim's
addressed,
point, yeah.
I signed them from
Yep.
the two of us.
Yep.
And I put both of our emails, I have to check it, but.
Yep. okay.
Who makes
Um,
up the business cards?
I'm sorry,
So what do you mean by business cards?
Who ma-
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, business cards.
business cards. Well, you know, to me, it's usual when you go to visit another business, you leave your business card with your,
So who made it up, the business card?
I don't have one.
Oh,
Oh,
you-
you'd
but
like
you
us
just
to
talked
do
about-
like committee,
But
you
you
mean?
just talked about a TOL board.
Because I was talking about when I was sending out emails, it was coming from Jim Green but the return address was
It's the domain,
J.H. Green
it's
at
TOL
TOL
boards.
boards.
But that's.
That's the town uses that?
That's irrelevant. If you put your signature, Jim Green, president of Senior Resource Committee, you can address that all in the signature. I barely look at people's emails. I mean, their addresses, I don't think it's just a way for me to communicate with them. I look at their signature.
Okay, I'm sorry, I sidetracked everybody with the email thing. I still think it would be good to
I know
have,
what you're saying.
did they have business cards?
Can I speak? Is
Yeah.
that all right?
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to say is when he's out in the community and doing the work that's needed to be done for this group, he doesn't have anything that officially says, this is who I am and this is what I do. And I think that can be difficult when you're talking to businesses.
Cause I have business cards I have business cards, obviously,
Yeah,
because of my position, and I hand them out all the time. So, yeah, you should probably have business cards,
Yeah.
all of you should.
Was that right?
yes,
I
absolutely.
don't wanna put words in your mouth.
No, sometimes it's good to do that. Because
So
the
the
other one's not,
SRC members should have.
Well,
But I
come
mean,
up
you
with-
can make up your own business cards if you want to, right?
Well, since we're representing the town, I think it has to be
Have the
approved.
logo.
We could go
And
through
a
Mike.
logo.
Go through.
Mike,
But,
yeah.
But my initial question was, why does it say TOL? No one's gonna know Town of
No,
Londonderry.
that's, yeah, town of
that's
London.
that's your email address now.
Not me, cause I don't get them, but anyway.
That whole change through IT, I don't know how the decision was made, how we got to.
TOL, I mean,
How we got to .gov, cause we used to be .org, that's all,
More, better
IT
security, I
stuff.
believe.
In,
Yeah.
in emails, the longer they are, the less likely people are willing to use them.
Okay.
So they shorten it to TOL because you're in communication with people that know who you are.
Yeah.
More so.
But I'm not gonna use an email I don't know, recognize, and if it
Mhm.
came TOL, I wouldn't use it, cause I don't recognize it. I do now, cause Jim just told me, but,
Were you thinking of a generic card like the entire committee could use, or would it have like your name on it, Jim, as our chairperson, or a few people's?
Well, I think it should have thrice exalted before my name, something like that, simple.
yeah, right.
You know, just- Um,
gold leaf.
No, I think, yeah, I think a generic, senior resource committee one is fine, because that's, just so somebody knows that I'm actually representing the town when I'm talking to them.
I don't think it'd be that hard
Agree.
to do. I think Mike would support that.
I don't think
Okay.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's like
And then when you use it,
$35.
just put your name on it.
It's not expensive.
Right. Online. too.
Okay,
Good idea.
So it has to go through Mike?
I would think so.
Or the town council, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well-
Mike would just approve that, like, he approves our business card, so, yeah, I would think so, yeah, we
Okay.
just bring it to him,
I could probably just check that with Kirsten.
absolutely,
Okay.
perfect, yeah,
Okay, so, TA.
there you go, got that one?
Okay.
I'm still using my .gov one, .org ones, cause they're not going yet, and they said they were gonna, you still
Yeah,
have,
I now have the Gov, but I also use the org ones, and Tommy said it will go through to us,
yeah,
so.
they'll move
Yeah.
forward.
Are both working for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it is.
okay.
I still get .org, and it's been years
Yeah.
since we switched, yeah.
Oh, you did, cause you
Yeah.
switched a
With our
few
first
years
one,
ago
yeah.
now, right, a long time ago. Oh, that's
Okay,
good to know, don't
um,
worry.
The next two are very similar. I have a feeling that we can do a better job of introducing what the expo is with our initial outreach.
I've sent letters to the 180 initial vendors, so do you have a copy of that letter?
I have a copy of yes,
To edit it, or add to it, or enhance it, to elevate it?
well, what I'm thinking is, when I call them, I normally want to start with something like, this is our third or fourth annual expo. We've gone from 40 vendors to 70 vendors. We have approximately 300 people that show up at the event,
It's-
which is the thing,
So you want a script
yeah.
for your phone calls, but you want to enhance
Well,
the
if
letter.
if we're all gonna call, I had the feeling last year people weren't sure what to say when they called. So if we have a script,
Script's a good
Yeah,
idea,
just
At
some
least
bullet
you
points,
know-
yeah.
so we don't miss
Yeah,
anything.
bullet points. Otherwise it sounds terrible.
I have a question first of all. The list, when you said you sent out letters, did you send out that everybody was on that list, including the new people that you had on the list? The letter?
Emails.
I sent out
You said,
around 100 emails to that long spreadsheet that I've sent
yeah,
out to
including the
people.
ones that were not there last year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
But the ones that got assigned, split up to all of you, were the ones I didn't have emails for. And I did research to find emails, and it was hard. Yeah, it's a lot of work, so I asked you guys to do it.
Yeah.
And then if you gave me an email or I got an application back, I'd put that in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So I'll have more people to email next time.
Maybe the thing that, I visited a couple of places and they didn't know, why I asked you, because they didn't know from Adam what I was talking about.
Or
So-
also depends who the contact is
Yeah.
at that
Yeah,
particular.
but anyway, they were the ones that were in
location.
Concord, that I was up there anyhow, so I went to a couple of good places. But I think what would be good is if we had, those two documents that we had, maybe break those down to make them a little bit more portable, you know, the application itself, and then the sheet told about it, okay? And I think another one that would work is if we had a sheet that had all of last year's participants on it in some kind of a logical order, because I think that would help attract them. If they see, you know, if they're selling light bulbs and there's 5 other light bulb people on there, they're gonna wanna come. So I think that would be a big help.
Or not.
Well,
I had trouble with real estate. They didn't wanna be next to each other. I got so many comments.
I was fine with it, by the way.
I had like 8 real estate representatives and they didn't wanna be close to each other.
we won't put the light bulb people together. But anyway, from my
Have all the good
perspective, that
ideas.
would help, okay? And maybe the other thing that we should do is up the technology and allow them to scan the thing and apply online.
Okay, you said make it more portable. So
It
how
doesn't-
would you make it more portable? I sent copies of it to everyone.
No,
Or I
if
made
you-
them
no,
available
I'm
to
talking about
pick
if
up.
you go out to the people, or what you know, I called, told them about it, get information, and I would send them the stuff.
So-
Or I would deliver the stuff and try to get a commitment.
So you're
When I was
talking
going out.
face-to-face marketing?
Yeah, but what I'm suggesting is, I can't remember what it is. We can put, you know, the little box, the
QR code.
put a QR code on it, and I believe that QR code is the reason why
Yes,
we
like,
had 1,400 responses
Yeah.
to the master plan.
because we do it for our business cards, so the
Yes.
regular front business card and in the back, it's the QR code, you scan it, and it goes right to my contact.
Because that way, a lot of these people, you catch them while they're thinking about it,
Yeah,
and
they
you make it
just-
real easy for them to do it.
Scan it.
That would be a big help, and I don't think
Yeah,
that's a big
that's-
deal to get them printed on it.
And Tim, that would go right to your email? Like-
Yeah, or like if we had a flyer for the event, so say the YMCA flyer here, they could have a QR code on there, it would go right to, I don't know, a web page specific to it, or in the case that we're discussing now, maybe a sign-up portal where it goes right to there and it's the way they can sign up for the event.
I bet Kirsten can create.
Oh,
that.
100% she could, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting,
Okay.
yeah. Would be a good idea.
Alrighty, we talked about the high school, middle school.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes,
Would there be, and I honestly know nothing, would there be a person who has a business in town that maybe has a heated warehouse that would be willing to let us utilize that on a Saturday?
They have
I
to
don't
empty it
know.
Yeah,
out.
I was thinking the same thing, whether or not there's some commercial space
Sort
would
of freezer
be
warehouse.
available.
Yeah, we'll go right down the street.
Because they're a sponsor of the Old Home Day, aren't they? I'm serious. But they're all full. I'm sorry. They're
Yeah,
all.
that's all right.
I bet that's cold in there, it's freezer
Yeah,
warehouse,
I don't
yeah.
think, we don't try to kill
But a
them.
warehouse is a possibility.
It is, but I really think people can relate to a school.
I
think
think
so
you're
too.
right,
I
good
And also, I,
point.
you know, it's supportive of a lot of these businesses are, it's tough for me to call them and say, hey, I'm gonna bring 70 vendors and 300 people through your facility this weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a little control with it,
Yeah.
that's.
What about
Good
what are the
idea,
airport
though.
hangars?
I was just thinking, we got
So-
somebody that works at the Aviation Museum.
Yeah.
yeah, right, but I'm supporting the schools.
Yeah, they don't have, they don't have a hangar that we could fit in.
No.
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, the first one under the event is 3 hours versus 4. I heard a lot of that after this one, and actually I heard a lot of that after the one before.
Yeah.
That the last hour was hard. I don't know if we change it to 3, that the last
I
hour
think
was
we
3.
meant to and we didn't.
We
Yeah.
did, because we talked about that
Yeah.
last
So,
time.
so something like 10 to 1
Yeah.
rather than 10 to 3, okay. That sounds good,
Yeah.
okay. The refreshment area, I think I saw,
Well, you're jumping around a little here. The flyer for Old Home Day, we had flyers. Didn't I provide flyers?
yes, I'm thinking maybe picking up on his idea a little bit, something,
With the QR code?
yeah,
it's
a
in the
little,
portal, yeah.
Yeah,
because, you know, we're talking about 2 different audiences. When we're going out to the vendors, we're talking to vendors, and when we're,
Okay, yeah.
when we, yeah.
Is the online.
If I could find words for my ideas, I'd be
So
just,
we need 2 QR codes.
yeah,
One for the vendors and one for the
one
participants.
for the,
Pretty
one-
simple.
this is why you should come kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and that's easy to do on a
Yeah.
flyer, you put 2 in there, one is to sign up and the other one's for information, that's.
And that was a comment at Old Home Day, right, that a lot of people you talked to didn't know about the event.
No one had ever attended it that I talked to, not one. That was
Well-
so disappointing.
No one ever attends an event. It has to be a real person.
Gotcha.
Oh, we're funny.
Aw.
Jim.
I'm sorry. I worked with some guys, I worked in the post office over the Christmas vacation to make some money when I was in college. And they'd listen to Celtics games, and they had Johnny Most there. And they'd be singing, nobody's got the ball, and, somebody's gonna do this. It's kind of, who is this guy, nobody? Who is he playing for? Okay. Refreshment area, I think there was a comment about volume and the location in the middle.
We just didn't have water, the coffee ran out, we needed more snacks, but
And
that's, we can.
We need
For
a food truck.
people,
Yeah.
Okay,
for the people
need more
that
food,
came,
real
the
food.
vendors were getting all of the stuff first.
Oh,
They were.
I can see that happening.
Right, that's
Absolutely.
true,
Yeah.
yeah, good point. But we
And
just
I'm the
need
one who
more.
said they bring their own stuff. Remember you wanted to buy pizza?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. it's
Sorry.
fine. That's all right, that's okay,
Okay.
it's, every
So-
year we,
so does that split into two things? The refreshments for the visitors, and maybe a separate area for the vendors?
How do you go about telling them
Yeah,
that?
how do you distinguish that?
I'm sorry,
How do you go about telling them that? You can't eat here, you gotta eat over here.
What if we don't put the food out till later?
That, yeah,
that
that
might
was
be
the
a
thing.
wide, yeah, cause it was out immediately.
okay. Well, that's an interesting solution, isn't it?
Don't put the food out, don't put the
Like
food out
11.
between 9 and 10 when they're setting out, put it out.
Yeah, that's on me. I just set it up when we set up our table,
Yeah, I
so I
would've
just pulled it all
too,
out, so
yeah.
yeah, I can not.
And it is kinda nice to have something for the vendors, so to have a
Yeah.
hot cup of coffee, or, I think we just need to make it plentiful, cause that was nice
So
for
we
them.
just need more.
More, I think
Yeah.
that's the answer.
Should we start charging the vendors?
Yes. As a vendor, I'm gonna tell you yes.
Why?
As a marketing person, I'm gonna tell you yes.
How much do you think?
Because
it
it's a donation to the town, to the senior center. They're gonna get business out of this.
I've already got a response from
Everyone is.
people about business they've gotten.
Everyone.
So
is.
It could potentially cover the cost of the concessions.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a
20
lot of
bucks?
money.
Or how much?
25 bucks.
25
I mean,
would be
they're gonna
clean.
get business out of it. Yes, they should pay something.
You think it'll really hurt our numbers?
No.
What about nonprofit versus business? Charge, should there be a difference?
Don't think you can do that,
No?
not for attending the same event.
Okay.
I think it'd get messy, but
I
it's
think that would get very
yeah,
messy.
Yeah, yeah.
I paid this, so I wanna be here.
Yeah, 25
Okay.
is reasonable, because not too much.
Except for town offices, they have to be 50.
Town offices would just be,
And you're 100.
So what does everybody think
That's-
about charging? What do you all think?
I don't wanna charge.
you like the idea of welcoming.
How much did it really cost us? How much did it really cost us?
We
in
donated
dollars
the
and
bags,
cents?
we donated the food, I mean,
Okay, well,
70
Big-
people at $20 a piece is a lot of money relative to what we,
that's not much, 1,400?
well, $1,400 is $1,400 more than we're getting now. I don't know, I think that changes what we're trying to do. We're asking we're trying to encourage the nonprofits to come. Okay, I feel uncomfortable charging nonprofits to come to this.
well, the other thing is,
It makes us, I don't know, especially with the attitude. of
because
people
we're asking to
going
bring out
late.
raffle items too.
And that can be, some of those baskets, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I
and
think
a
you
lot
gotta
of
do
money.
one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other,
Did
I
most people
think.
bring raffle items?
It's like the new chairs.
They really were
Boy, a
pretty
lot of
great
them.
about
Yeah,
it,
a
yeah,
lot
and they're
of them.
beautiful, the time and effort, that's a good point, one or the other. They might prefer to make, you could to donate the $25 and.
Who was it
it's
that,
cheaper
who
for
was
them.
it that
Yeah.
donated one hat? Who did that?
I gave that hat away, AARP, I gave it to somebody in the senior center, I wasn't gonna call anybody on that. one half.
That
Well,
was
we
a-
can
that was
ponder
a
this
big one.
more, cause this, maybe ask around, cause it's a great point you brought up though, and then covering the extra refreshments.
But some of them
but-
wanted to do their own private,
Yes, they did raffles.
and they did some of them
Yeah.
did,
Like intro,
which
yeah.
got them their
Mhm.
client list, potential
Yeah.
client list, so,
Yeah, I
We
collected
need to-
like
we need to talk about
53
that.
names or something.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's very
So you
nice.
gave away a private prize?
yeah, I gave away a $75 gift certificate to whatever you wanted.
That was a nice idea, huh?
And that accomplished what for you, getting the names of the people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you don't get a lot of people don't put anything but their first name and their phone number, cause they don't wanna be solicited. And that's fine, I get that.
So what if we ask people to bring their own prizes and do their own drawings, so we don't have to do it?
It would take a big weight.
I mean, it took me 2 days to do that,
I
How
can
much?
imagine, yeah.
How much money for this came
but
from?
it was cool when they came and picked things up, it was so sweet.
Exciting, yeah.
It was,
when we
not-
did
they
it.
were, people
When
were,
Deb did it, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
I just,
you're
when I
fine.
call people, I identify myself right away, cause you get all kinds of calls. And they were touched, they were like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I never win
in."
anything.
Oh, yeah, it was nice to do that, but if
But
each
that would-
vendor,
yeah.
if each vendor does it on their own,
Mm.
we don't have to do it at all. You
How
can just
much
get those
money-
flowers.
Yeah, which they like, yeah.
How much financial support came from LCSO, or however you say it?
For this,
Yeah,
None?
nothing, no,
None?
no,
Okay.
they're not involved with this.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
No.
good question, but.
So what are people's thoughts? They pay or they bring a donation? I mean,
I like the idea of them doing their own gift.
but then they pay the 25?
No,
No.
No.
no. To your point, John, to the we wanna get
Yeah.
decent nonprofits in.
I
I'm
don't-
sorry, I see you're saying yes, but I'm not sure,
Encourage them
yes to
make
what?
donation.
I don't want to.
Yes. Yes, to let them bring their own,
Okay, so,
And no charge, Elizabeth,
and no
is that-
charge
yeah.
for the coffee.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh,
the-
For
okay.
for the fee, yeah.
all right,
Well, the coffee, we could put or did we already put something out there for people to throw in?
But I think we can get more
No,
donations on that,
we just
yeah.
want the coffee.
No, that thing
Yeah.
will,
Okay.
somebody's gotta, we gotta have the police guard
Right.
that bucket, right?
You'd have to guard that.
At the senior center, we have people putting in loose change, it's pretty funny.
I don't wanna have to put up with, what did you do with the money?
That's a valid point too.
Yeah, right now, we're not
We don't
asking
have to
for
deal with
anybody
any
for
of that.
money,
That's
anything,
true,
we're
John,
asking
yeah.
people to donate
Yeah,
things for the prizes, and we're not charging for the raffle tickets.
right,
And I think it's a little bit more work, or maybe a lot more work, I don't know, cause I wasn't involved in that, but we don't put ourselves out there as being complained
yes.
about.
No, and taking in money does create problems in
Yeah.
terms of what
Yeah.
type of
Good
organization we are.
point, John, yeah.
What's our charter now? Is that if the town's taking that money, it has to go to the town general fund before it can be reassigned to something else. So there's a lot of things. It can get a little tricky.
Yeah.
Like that's like when people call and they want to say they wanted to donate money to the PD. It's like, well, we refer them to the police association because the PD's not in a position to take that money in because then it goes, like I said, it goes to town general fund. So
Yeah, that's.
So next year, when they're contacted, they're gonna be told, bring your own
a
donation.
door prize, a
Yeah,
door prize is the
yeah,
price of admission.
Yeah, and then they get the contacts, which is a benefit to them
Mhm.
too. Yeah, probably, cause
and
that
then
is a
Alona
lot
doesn't
of
have
work
to
at
do
the
any
end,
of that.
yeah.
Well, I only did it this year, Deb did it
Debbie
last year.
always did
Debbie
it,
did
and
it,
it was beautiful to see the residents come in. One
Yeah.
time she and Roger drove them all around the town. But I think in reality, it would be much better to just, and then it gets the contacts again, which is a help to the vendors too.
it has the side benefit of being simpler.
It does, yeah.
That's the whole
That's a great
point,
point.
yeah.
And loading everything into your
Yes.
car, Ilona, or which, yeah,
But
it's a
still
lot.
have the flowers.
Yes, Harrington's been so wonderful about that.
Yeah.
So, and we could raffle well,
I
actually.
still have it
we
on
had-
my birthday.
Yeah, oh, that was the cutest, Ilona.
And that takes care of my cart to bring the prizes to the front.
When you put cart to bring prizes to the front, I thought you meant cart the bus cart.
That's where my mind went too.
Sir, drew a picture of a cart, you see my cart?
Oh.
No, because I had somebody kept complaining about that, in the letter I wrote, I said there'd be a cart there to put the prizes on, we'd bring them up. And so,
And then we won't have to deal with any of that either.
Right.
They
Yeah.
walk in with it, put on, and it'll make their tables look nicer too.
Absolutely.
You know, a little
And if
more.
people don't wanna fill out the form, they won't.
Right,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
So give them more responsibility.
Yeah, I like that. I think
Especially since
that's-
it's free.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to do 75.
okay, I think,
I've never problem doing
That's
something like
nice,
that. If I
though.
sell one house, it certainly paid for itself.
Right.
we did sent out the information for the follow-up appraisal afterwards. I don't know if you've been back long enough to know if you're getting many.
Oh, yeah, I actually didn't bring them with me, cause I thought I'd come paperless today. I got a lot of thank yous, a lot of praises.
Oh, very nice.
And I got several, what we've put in here already, too tight, and the floor. That's, the too tight and the floor are the two biggest
Okay.
problems. But everything else was glowing,
Very
it was
nice.
good,
Okay,
Good.
very pleased. And some people wanna come and talk at the center, so,
yeah,
so I was gonna print those all out and bring them, but I don't, it was all redundant,
Nice.
yeah,
yeah.
okay. I've, I had somebody give me a business card the other day, wanted to be included next year, and I've gotta find the address again. The guy for, one of the guys that works on Honor Flight was gonna check, cause they wanted to,
On what?
Honor Flight.
Honor Flight,
For
the,
the veterans.
the vets,
The flyovers?
No.
No,
No.
they actually
No.
take a vet, usually like considerably
Oh.
older,
oh,
to
go,
Washington, the
Oh,
memorial.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
yeah,
If you find that business card, take a picture of it, just send it to me and I'll put it on the spreadsheet,
okay, good.
okay?
And the only other thing I can think of with that I heard was
This one, oh, 7:00.
why the VA wasn't there this year. And I don't know why, but
Wasn't Keith there? No, he's, no, I didn't see him.
No, there was no VA there.
There was a veterans group from Derry, but no VA.
That was my only VA, yeah.
You know what I thought was really nice? Kristen Grages was there for voter registration. I thought that was adorable. You know that.
We really
She was
had-
asking permission, do you mind if I do this?
I
I'm like,
thought that
"Go!"
was such
do
a
it."
great service. That was really nice
We
that
need
she
to,
did that.
Alrighty,
try to-
I'd like to make a
Our
couple of
services
comments if
to
you're,
come in.
We had
and
like
of
two
how
or
many
three.
people
We
read it?
did?
Yeah.
The wonderful
didn't see
award that Erin
They
got
were,
for the Library of the Year for her whole program thing there, that, I saw that online this week.
I did not
Office
see
is
that
on
at
Yes.
all.
I forget what the award is called,
That's so,
but Londonderry got it. And there
whoa.
were like 5 that got it, but we were number 1, so Erin should be complimented on
Oh
that.
my gosh,
On
I'm
what?
glad you
What's
told
that,
us.
on
I
the
completely,
library?
yeah.
You saw that award
I
that
saw,
Erin got?
That's so wonderful, and the council, I'm sure, would wanna
Yeah,
do something
yeah.
too. It
I'm
was,
sure you can Google it and get it, Sherry.
that's wonderful.
And the second thing I have is, Alona, does any of this stuff on here that the Y is talking about doing, are you concerned about with it conflicting with your programs?
no, can I see that sheet real quick? The blue sheet?
I got you.
Oh, thank you. No, because there are different times. The diabetes prevention program, I advertise heavily, cause we didn't have that. The trips we don't do, we advertise other people's trips, so if they wanna give me their trips, I will put them in my trip notebook for people to look at.
But what about balance class, book clubs, yoga, chair yoga?
Book club is once a month, I'm not we have good attendance at all of
So you're not
those.
worried about conflict, okay,
No,
that's all
and
wanted to know.
I work with them quite a bit we're actually trying to do I was waiting for feedback from them since the school year started. We were gonna do a, pen pal program between kids and seniors.
Nice,
But they were gonna gauge the interest if the parents wanted that to happen.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm working with them more heavily than I did
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah.
And I'm not really worried about competition.
Were they at the expo?
I think the more that's available gives people more
I don't
timelines
think
to
they were,
choose
John.
from.
That would be a wonderful one to invite, though. That would be good.
What's that?
John asked if they were at the expo. I don't
Were they
believe
at the
they
expo?
were.
don't
But they're
remember.
involved in
I
our
think so.
Rotary, I
remember.
bet you that would be a nice one to have there
Yeah.
too. Lois, I know years ago when you, there was a little bit of a conflict years ago, that's what you're thinking of,
With?
with the YMCA and the scene, like going way back when, and that's probably what you're
Well, I
thinking
just wondered
of. Yeah.
Number of attendants, that's all.
Yeah,
If you-
And they're geared, and their programs, if you look on their website,
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I've been trying to partner with them. They also get Panera Bread, and we can go and pick it up on Thursdays to
that's
bring
so
it to the
Oh,
nice,
center.
wow.
yeah.
nice.
Because we used to do it pre-COVID, but now that Meals on Wheels is in the kitchen, we have a hard time processing the bread, because they give you bread that's not packaged, so we have to do it ourselves.
Oh,
So the Y's been doing that, and we didn't go in the summer because they had their school programs, they were using the bread for that, but we've been starting to go back again. And surprisingly enough, not as many seniors take the bread as I thought would,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a nice partnership though.
Yeah, so yeah, we've been working together, and when I look on their website, I don't see many senior programs for that, for the Londonderry, or any of them, they're part of like 6 or 7 Ys that are together. And I think they're trying to get more involved, which is fine, because of the timeline. It could-
Right,
we're-
yeah.
We close at 2, they might have some of these programs later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
profile.
That's
No,
true.
it's a good way to
Yeah.
look at it, yeah.
I don't wanna be like that, it's not like we're businesses. committed
Right,
to money.
yes, yeah, same team, that's,
you might end up working together on things.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said.
they're really such a nice group.
So we canceled my last one, and the only other thing is, do we owe thank you notes to, I'm
We
thinking,
really do, we
wrote-
should.
No, that was for the picnic. That was part of the whole letter that we wrote after the fact.
okay,
But-
I'm
but you
thinking
mean
about
like
the florist
the
right
flowers.
now.
Oh,
And I don't know if the police department, last year, the police association donated food to the event or something like that, so, you know, for the people that
Weren't
that
there,
donated but
yeah.
weren't vendors.
So was it just the?
like whoever
police
printed the
and
bags, things like that?
And that's another one, the
Okay,
tote
I don't know-
bags.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, they're right up by the airport, we have, I know Phil would have their name, and, Tim could tell us where to send.
Yeah,
but
I'll get you the
We
info from the
really
LPA.
should, we
Yeah.
really should.
She's good at writing thank you notes. She wrote like 15 of them for me.
To whom it may
He was
concern,
closer
thank
to
you.
Thursday.
No, was it?
But we should, that would be,
She wrote them all personalized too.
I did.
Can I take a couple minutes on transportation before we break up?
I'm screwed.
It's after 7 o'clock, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No.
I
I'm screwed.
I made a strategic error on this. A couple meetings back, we had a discussion about doing a survey, and I talked everybody out of doing the survey because I knew that the master planning group was doing a survey. And at the time, I saw their survey, and they had a big section on transportation that was very good. A couple weeks ago, I found out that they are splitting the survey up into groups. And what they did was, the survey that just went out was only really dealing with land management and so on. So all the rest of the stuff was left off. So I was hoping that we would get that transportation piece of that survey back for us to take a look at, so we could just make some kind of decision whether to move forward with this $5 fee for the license. So now, I'll try to find out this week when this next piece of the survey is going to go out. But my point is, getting some information back and just trying to figure out what it means, and working with some of the transportation advisors to get enough things put together in a package that would warrant a warrant article. Is getting tighter, given how things move in town to get done. So I really screwed up because I talked you people out of doing the survey because I thought that the planning group was gonna do it for us, but
If you have a survey format, or develop one or take one from them, I'm happy to give it to the Meals on Wheels people to distribute. For Londonderry Meals on Wheels only, right? We wouldn't do it outside of, would we do it outside the community?
no, I think,
Just to
well,
get, you get about 100 people.
you can make an argument about dairy, but, probably should not include them if it's easy to just include our Meals on Wheels piece. But we're already, problem with that is they are what the other things were.
Because I'll push I have the master plan in the senior center for people to take. If there's another section to it, I'll promote that too.
Yeah, there's gonna be a part, at least part two for sure. I'll find out this week when
Yeah, let me
may
know.
go out.
I'm happy to.
But anyway, oh, and the other thing I
Thank
should
you.
mention is last week, I was appointed to the CART Advisory Committee
Very nice,
for,
John. Con-
to
good
replace,
for us.
He's a lot more
Mrs.
qualified to do it than I am.
Mrs. Michaels, who I think has resigned, so,
Well, thank you. That'll be
yeah, so.
someone representing us and
So
bringing back the
that's it.
information. Well,
Not
thank
good,
you,
not
John.
good news, but that means, you know,
Okay.
Starting point.
I tried to find the award and I can't find it. It has something to do with that new program they're starting.
The
Yes.
the whole new
Yes.
system.
All the libraries
Yeah.
together?
Which I have to
Yeah.
get my new
It's something to do with that, and
library
I
card
can't find it, but
still. Well, it's good you told us. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware.
It was on Facebook.
Yeah,
It probably was
I'll
on
go on
Facebook.
tonight and take a peek. Well, I'm gonna scoot everyone. This was wonderful. Oh, we gotta adjourn the meeting, I guess.
Alrighty, I think we're there. Just one question about this. If they do the route thing, does that mean they won't do the pick up the phone?
oh, no, they will, no, I'm suggesting it's on top, layer on top of this. There's other things that we can do. One of the other things that I brought up, which has actually been discussed several times in the past, and that is don't charge. Okay?
That would, you and I were very big
Yeah,
on that,
So,
yeah.
you know, cause that, I've done that, I've given
Very
away
difficult.
product when I was in another life when I was working, and the, you know, and give it away, if they won't use, if you give it away and they won't use it, there's something wrong with what we have, so let's find out.
Well, we had the free cab system here a couple years back. That we
Yeah.
used.
For a period of time.
So
The
I
vouchers.
think giving away, and the realities are, they make a very small amount of money, you know, from the toll
From the
box.
$2,
It's
yeah.
like, I
No,
mean,
it's
the
about
whole
$12
thing,
a
I don't
ride. I
think
did the
one,
math on it.
I don't think, if you, all the tolls of carts collected, I don't even think it's the 1% of the cost of what it
So
takes
you
to
don't
run.
have to-
So,
It's still
You'd be
$2 a
right.
person each way though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then if you
yeah,
have
it's,
3 or 4
yeah, it's
people.
$4, it's
Before
$4
you
if you
leave.
come from your house
Yeah,
back
it is,
and-
that's a
back and
lot
forth
if
to
you
the
haven't
senior
planned
center
for that. And
Meals
then
on-
5 days a
Meals
week,
on Wheels,
that's $20,
that's $4,
yeah.
you know, what, several times a week.
Yeah, it can really
Yeah,
be very difficult when you're on
If we
a
have a
fixed
Tuesday.
income, but,
so,
oh,
anyway.
John, thank you, that
All
was,
right. A motion to adjourn is always in order.
I'm not allowed to motion.
yeah, I'll make a
I'm only a
motion.
liaison.
I second the motion.
All right.
I
All in
need a
favor?
motion.
You could-
Aye.
Hippity, hippity hop platoon stop? No.
Yay.
we
And
done?
Elizabeth.
Good meeting, Jim, as always.